Welcome to another episode of According to Amabile. I'm Michele Amabile, your humble hostess, and today I am joined by David Barry, acclaimed filmmaker, Jersey boy, and the director of Tramps Like Us, which will be premiering at the Spring Nut Serenade at Monmouth University, August 24th. I am so looking forward to this. Thank you for doing this with the Bruce Springsteen Archives. David, welcome to According to Amabile.
Thank you, Michele. It's great to be here. Thank you for that intro.
Oh, you're welcome. I just want to know what inspired you to make a documentary focused on Bruce Springsteen and having all these wonderful spring nut friends of mine featured in the documentary. Everybody's so excited to see themselves on the big screen.
I the story goes all the way back to the early 2000s, really. I've been a fan of Bruce Springsteen since 1980. My brother was a big fan, and but it was always his music. And then in 1980, I heard Hungry Heart on the radio, and it became mine, right? I was only 11 years old. That was a very impressionable time for me because a year later, I also discovered U2. So U2 and Bruce Springsteen were my musical pillars through my entire life. Now, I was at a U2 concert in 2000 when they were on their Elevation tour. It's the first time I'd ever been on a floor for a show. All the concerts I'd seen, I'd always ever been in seats for Bruce or for U2. Never had a chance to be on the floor. So I'm on the floor of a show, and I'm a filmmaker by this point. I've been working in film and television for about 10 years, maybe. And I was standing next to these 16-year-old kids who were just jumping out of their skin, excited about seeing U2 and hearing them play Beautiful Day. They had no knowledge of all the things that they did before that. And I realized that music was becoming generational. And I saw the same thing with Bruce Springsteen. When I go to see Bruce Springsteen, I started seeing younger people there, right? When we on the reunion tour was the first time I really noticed it. I would go to these shows, and now I'm in my 30s, and there were teenagers there. And that doesn't seem like a big difference now in my 50s, but in 1999, 2000, it did, right? On the Magic Tour, I saw younger people there, and I was realizing this is generational. This is what meant so much to me from those early albums. It's the same thing with them with Radio Nowhere, right? So then it took me years to figure, like, how do you tell a story like this? And in that time, Springsteen and I came out. There were some things I liked about it, some things I didn't like about it. And I made a film called Dream Out Loud about U2 fans in 2017. And all along the way, I met a lot of fans who were also Bruce Springsteen fans who kept saying, you have to do this for Bruce. And I said, well, Springsteen and I'm not, I don't want to tread on water. It's already been done. But what Dream Out Loud turned out to be was so different than Springsteen and I. Then I was like, okay, maybe this is something we should do. Fast forward 2023, Bruce got sick. And I realized that my hero was actually, like, I knew we were all getting older, but I realized, oh my gosh, like,
He's human.
he's human,
Our Super Bruce is human.
So I had always kind of been on the sidelines with Spring Nuts and all the groups. I'd see them online. I'd see the shirts at shows, but I never really reached out. So I reached out to Howie Chaz and a few other people, a few podcasters, Jesse with Set Lusting Bruce and Audrey Hunn with her group, Calling All Springsteen Fans. I reached out to people and a few got back to me. Those were the three that replied. And I said, hey, I want to make this film. What do you think? And they all were very supportive. And so we launched the Kickstarter campaign to make it because I'm just an artist. I'm not a wealthy studio or anything. So I needed help making it. And we started filming in Phoenix in 2024 and finished September 16th, the day after See Here Now. And along the way, I shot 245 interviews with fans from 20 countries to put together what it's meant to all these people to be a Springsteen fan.
And it's so great that you bring up U2. I was there when Bruce got on stage with U2 in Philadelphia and they did Stand By Me. I was right there.
I was there too.
You want to play my guitar. And I was the stupid idiot trying to climb over to get onto the stage to play, not realizing, they don't want to play with me. They want to play with Bruce.
I was there too. That was up in that was at the old RFK Stadium, I think.
Correct.
Right? And felt like there were 100,000 people there. It was
easily. Easily. But what a night that was. That was magic. So and you connected with the Spring Nut community, that you gained their trust. So what was your process for selecting who to interview? You probably got inundated with people wanting to be in this.
So I said anybody that wants to be a part of it can be a part of it. That's why there's so many people in the film. There's 245 Springsteen fans in it. I knew
So there
that
wasn't a cut? Like,
because the tour was kicking off again, that's when people are going to be traveling to see Bruce. And, a lot of fans are in their 50s, 60s, even 70s now, and we're busy with our lives and things. So if you've had an entire lifetime with this music, it's easy to get distracted by your everyday life, right? Until you go to the show. And at the show is when all this stuff comes back to you. So I knew I wanted to interview around the shows. So I just, you know, I said anybody could be in it that wants to be in it. And we put together the campaign, and the Spring Nuts were incredibly supportive of that. And once it was funded, then I put together literally a form that people filled out. What shows are you going to be at? Tell me your Bruce Springsteen story. And then I had some help in organizing it. And in every city I'd go to, and there were 15 to 20 people to interview. And I had their little story on it so I could refresh myself on, what it is that was the starting point to talk about. And then we would have a conversation about what this has meant. And that's what comes out in the film. It feels very personal and heartfelt and like a conversation, literally.
David, was there a particular story that stood out to you, or were
Uh,
there had to have been some that you went, wow.
there's a lot. There's a lot. There's one early on. There was an Iranian fan. He's a doctor. He lives here in the States now. But he discovered Bruce listening to American radio drifting across the desert, the borders into Tehran when music wasn't allowed there, and he discovered Bruce Springsteen. And I thought to myself, he was describing this scene of sitting in his bedroom as a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid with a little transistor radio, like listening on AM, and it's fuzzy, but he's hearing it, right? And I realized just how spoiled I was to live in Jersey and have all this stuff around me, and how much it meant to him, and the impact that it had in his life was extraordinary. There's stories like that throughout it. There's folks who've gotten over, dealt with cancer or uh, work struggles, all kinds of stuff. And it's very, very moving. Some very funny stories about meeting Bruce. I'm one of those rare Jersey guys who has never, ever met him. In my film career, I have worked with all
Wow.
of my heroes except him. He's the only one I've never crossed paths with. So I particularly enjoyed those stories. Um, People talking about meeting him, running into him places, especially on the early tours. Um, because he was more accessible. Um, and so those stories were really fascinating to me. I take a little bit of all of it, and when I see these faces now, I can remember what we talked about with all of them.
I love how you brought up that he was listening in the desert, because Bruce likes to write about the desert. And it's just shows you just how relatable he is, that he could write about something, even from a Jersey perspective, like as something like a county fair, and that'll resonate with somebody in Texas. The
Yeah.
same exact story. That's just his gift, how he
That's
can.
the number one thing that you'll see in the film, is that what astonished me is that it didn't matter where people were from, whether they were from Europe or Australia, or we have a doctor from Africa.
Africa, wow.
Wherever people discovered this music, they felt like Bruce was talking to them. They felt like Bruce was describing things that were going on in their lives, no matter when they got on the train or where. It's an incredible thing, and a real testimony to just how universal his writing is, yet so personal at the same time. It's really it's incredible.
Well, like I said, we're all looking forward to seeing this. It's so funny that you mentioned that you've never met him. I'm sure he would love you, but especially for making a film like this. Now, I know you mentioned the GoFundMe, and I know that some of the proceeds are going to Light a Day and Teach Rock too, which is amazing.
Yes. So for the premiere, all the proceeds from the premiere are going
Right.
to Light of Day, Teach Rock, and the Springsteen Archives. So I was really happy because I think we've raised over 15,000 for the three of them. So it's more than $5,000 for each one of them, um, just from the premiere, which I think is fantastic.
That is amazing. Was there like a theme like or a tone you wanted to set through the documentary, or was there something that you were trying to steer away from, or did you just want the fans to tell the story?
The fans lead it. I know that sounds a little artsy, but that's really what it is. It's a conversation that evolves from talking with all these people, and they get to share their story and their experiences and their thoughts, and the way the film goes together is like one person introduces an idea, and then the next person comes in and they build on it, and the next person and the next person. So it really is like a global conversation about Bruce, and they 100% steered it. 100%.
Well, that's amazing considering. Am I looking at this stat right? You have 11 feature-length documentaries on PBS.
I
Is that
do.
wow? That is so impressive. And
They're not all on PBS. Three of them have been on PBS, but they've been on Amazon. They've been, in film festivals. They've been all over the place. They're
well, I
all
would think
available.
that your past work would inform the storytelling style that you brought to putting together everything for this documentary.
It does. I tell musical stories. I was a musician myself and loved playing music. Music stories are what I've always been drawn to. The films I did in Hawaii on Hawaiian musicians are more autobiographical because I was able to actually let work with these musicians to tell their stories. So they steered that a little bit more and than say Tramps Like Us does, but they're all rooted in the power of music. So they have all that in common.
I would imagine with 245 interviews that post-production and editing must have taken a minute.
It took a while. Yeah. I guess it was September until last week. So
Last week,
yeah, I
talk
pretty
about
much
crunch
kind of
time.
signed off on where I was until last week. I've been telling people all along I'll literally be working on it right up until the 24th. So, um, but it was last week that I hit kind of that point where I felt like, okay, I'm ready to show this now. If I showed it tomorrow, I'd be happy with it, and I think Springsteen fans would be happy with it.
David, did you have to work with Bruce Inc. for clearance on music or like or permissions?
So we're working on that right now. What
Okay.
I did was that all the music that's in it is actually cover versions played by Springsteen fans.
Ooh,
It's a different type of licensing that's
anybody
involved.
I know?
Probably. I don't want to give away too many secrets just yet. When is this going to air?
Well, hopefully before the 24th.
Okay. Well, yes, there are faces in there that you will know. Alexander Jardville gave us a bunch of
Oh, she's
tracks.
great. She's
Um,
fantastic. Swedish musician,
yep. Um,
very talented woman.
Tramps Like Us, the band, gave me some.
They're
Uh,
playing on the 23rd.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's a track from Jake Thistle. Um, so there's a lot in there. And it's like interpretation. So some of it sounds like the Tramps Like Us stuff is more like Bruce playing it live, and then Alexandra's stuff is more of an interpretation of it, right? But you'll hear the melody in there. Um, so to answer your question, Bruce's folks know about it. They have been, as supportive as they can, I guess. Um, and we'll see where it goes. Like right now, what was important to me was getting the story right first. And so that's what we've done, right? So this first showing of it, I don't think I would get to show it at the Springsteen archives if they weren't at least, somewhat supportive
Enthusiastic.
of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Eileen and Bob have been wonderful. Um, and so we'll show it there. I'm giving the film to the archives, and all the interviews are going into the archives as well. So
That's
I'm giving
wonderful.
all of this media to them. And then after we show it to Springsteen fans first, that was the most important thing to me. Then I'll start to think about what comes next, and that would be film festivals and maybe distribution. At that point, then I've got to go at Bruce's people's way. You know what I mean? Then at that point, then it's a discussion with them, and hopefully they'll be very receptive and helpful. But we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when it's time to cross it. They're going to be very busy for a while now with Deliver Me From Nowhere anyway. They've got a
Oh,
lot going on.
absolutely. And the
So
50th anniversary of Born to Run. There's a lot going on.
there is a lot going on right now. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, David, you're a Jersey boy, Allentown, right? What year did you graduate?
1987.
Oh, all right. I'm 86, Manalapan. So, and so
I worked at Six Flags Great Adventure in my summers.
how did
Uh,
we not meet? I
I
worked at
don't
Great
know.
Adventure.
A couple summers I managed the Roaring Rapids ride there.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I mean, I'm a Jersey guy. Moved out west to go to college, and then I had that born to run bug, and I kept going west and made it all the way to Hawaii. And but it's part of your DNA, and it never leaves you.
So you'll be back this weekend,
Yep, yep.
August
I'm looking
24th,
forward to it.
Monmouth University, and you'll be at the Serenade too. You're going to come to the Pony?
Yep, I'll be there. I'll be there. Matter of fact, I'm going to do a little filming for Howie there to help out, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. I was at the first Serenade I was at was last year's, and I was mostly filming because I was using some footage in the movie, and I was also filming for the Spring Nuts. So I was very busy that day, but I was kind of blown away by what I saw and just how much fun they had. It was
Oh,
just
blast. Just with Lee playing the song.
exhausting. You need a couple days after it just to, you know,
Well, it's a full day at the Stone Pony this year and then off to see the film,
I know.
which is crazy because if you're drinking,
I know. I know some folks talked about like organizing buses to get over there and
oh,
things like
that's smart, you know?
that. That's what, when Howie talked to me about premiering it that day, I was like, Howie, that day is like so like it's so draining for folks. I mean, it's like it's 5 hours long. It's like going to see two Bruce Springsteen concerts in a row, you
These
know?
people have energy.
I know. And then you want
Yeah,
to
by
go to a
music.
movie that night. He's like, yeah, it'll be great. I was like, okay. And they seem to love the idea because we sold out the theater. There's going to be there's going to be 700 people there that night. So, um, to see the film. So I think that's going to be wonderful. And it's a, fitting way to end the weekend. It's their 10th anniversary as well.
Yep.
I think that's a great way to kind of cap the weekend for them and hopefully send them off with a lot of smiles and all the feels.
Well, all the feels will be felt in Asbury Park this weekend. Tramps Like Us, world premiere. I like saying world premiere because I consider it a world premiere. Monmouth University. Thank you, David Barry. Tramps Like I cannot wait to see this film. Anything you want to add before we go? Yeah, like any of your socials or
They can, for folks who are not going to be at the theater, you can watch it. I'm going to stream it one time at 7:30 at night, the same time on the 24th that it is hitting the screen at the Pollock Theater. It will be streamed on the Tramps Like Us film Facebook page. So if you go to Facebook to the Tramps Like Us film page at 7:30 at night, you'll be able to watch the film there. It's only going to be up there while it's streaming, and then I have to take it down. But I wanted fans around the world who aren't able to be in Monmouth this weekend to have a chance to see it as well. So it will stream one time on the Facebook page at 7:30 Eastern on the 24th.
that is a wonderful idea. David Barry, thank you so much for coming on According to Amabile. If you like what you saw today, don't forget to like and subscribe and please share this everywhere. Spring Nuts, Springsteen fans, much appreciated. David, thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. We'll see you soon.